Good evening. This is your boy DJ Tan right here on Tanitudes. Tonight I wanted to talk a little bit off the grid a little bit. I wanted to talk about this whole Jussie Smollett thing. A lot of times I kind of hold my tongue. A lot of times I hold my tongue because I try and see what the outcome is going to be before I voice an opinion. Now, sometimes my opinion is based on just solely on what I think. That's what an opinion is. My opinion is like, and everybody's opinion is different. Me personally, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me, I do not feel that Jussie Smollett is innocent. And I don't feel that Jussie Smollett feels he's innocent. Jussie Smollett, he was never going to get a fair trial. I think that he's going to forever and ever be known as the boy who cried wolf. We might not ever know the truth about Jussie Smollett, the scandal. We're never going to know what happened that night in Chicago on January the 28th when that actor/singer was allegedly attacked by two masked men that he said were two white men. Could be one of the many mad mysteries of this era in our lives. He said they tied a noose around his neck, and he said that they said this is in MAGA country. That's what they yelled. Well, maybe he told the truth about the hate crime or not. Sometimes people lie. Now, if you think about some things, last June, 21-year-old Mary Zolkowski, if I'm saying her name right, was sentenced to 45 days in a Michigan jail for making up a story about being raped by a black man in a parking lot. She'll be tested for drugs and alcohol and get counseling. In August, a 2-year life-ruining tragedy in Connecticut came to an end when Nikki Yavino was sentenced to a year in jail for lying about a rape. The young black man she accused had to leave college. One lost a football scholarship. Teresa Klein, she called the police and said that the little Jeremiah Harvey, a 9-year-old black boy, sexually assaulted her in a New York deli. That was last October. Well, video revealed his backpack brushed against her backside as he walked by, and the poor baby was traumatized. Public shaming was her punishment. There was no clean shot at due process or cut and dry publicly shared evidence in Smollett's case. Ever since last January, the case has become the longest and most twisted episode of Empire yet. Perhaps not even Lee Daniels could have scripted this storyline for Jamal Lyon, the character Smollett plays on the hit hip-hop drama. The court of public opinion started with belief survivors who quickly shifted to liar, liar. Anonymous officials unethically leaked information about the Smollett case to the press. Hospital workers were reportedly fired for allegedly violating HIPAA privacy regulations and looking at his records. Then we find out the attackers were actually Nigerian brothers, that Smollett knew them. It's widely believed he hired them to stage it all, paying them by check, despite the memo line reading 5-week nutrition workout program. Don't go. It's alleged he mailed a racist, homophobic letter to himself on the set of Empire. He was removed from the final 2 episodes of the season. It got weirder, though. State Attorney Kim Foxx recused herself because of familiarity with a potential witness. Smollett's case, partially because of his fame, more so because of the political implications, overwhelmed the news cycle in sickening ways. The possible lie got the president's attention. It overshadowed the case of Christopher Paul Hassan, the Coast Guard officer alleged to be plotting a mass shooting of Democrats in the celebrity media. On February 21st, when Smollett turned himself in to police and was charged with filing a false police report, Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson made a statement. He was enraged. Smollett lied, hurt the city of Chicago, hurt victims, owed apologies, and did it all for his career, Johnson said. And it took his rant to Good Morning America. Now, earlier this month, Smollett was slapped with a 16-count indictment. He pleaded not guilty. Now, between the police leaks and the public vilification of Smollett, the judicial waters were muddied bad. Now, Tuesday, all charges were dropped. Record expunged and sealed. Now, after reviewing all of the facts and circumstances of the case, including Mr. Smollett's volunteer service in the community and agreement to forfeit his bond to the city of Chicago, we believe this outcome is a just disposition and appropriate resolution to this case, said the statement from spokeswoman Tandra Simonton. Now, hours later, Johnson and Mayor Rahm Emanuel delivered a rebuttal and called it a whitewash of justice. Maybe Smollett lied, and if he did, it's wrong, but it's not a par with the murder of Laquan McDonald and an alleged Chicago PD cover-up, or say a legacy of Chicago police torture. Well, Johnson and Emanuel said Smollett's alleged lie hurts future victims of hate crimes. Yet police keep coming when white people are threatened by black folk barbecuing, babysitting, or selling water. How we respond to victims is up to us, not the tragic song of Jussie Smollett. But Johnson still wants an apology. He says an innocent person would want their day in court. Do they? When the verdict is decided, that before a trial ever begins is dangerous? If Ernest Thomas, Samuel Shepard, Charles Greenlee, and Walter Irvin were alive, maybe they could tell us. In the summer of 1949, Norma Paget, a white teen, accused of 4 young black men of kidnapping and raping her in Groveland, Florida. With little evidence beyond her word, they were deemed guilty. Thomas was murdered by Sheriff Willis McCall. Shepard and Irvin were sentenced to death. Greenlee, who was 16, got life in prison, served 12 years, and died in 2012 after the death penalties were overturned. McCall murdered Shepard and shot Irvin, who stayed in jail until 1968 and died a year later. In January, Florida's Clemency Board posthumously pardoned all 4 men. Now, the thing is, when you're looking at these issues of pardons, you still have to have good justice, even if someone wasn't innocent. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis told the Miami Herald. There was no evidence of a rape, there was no evidence of corruption and lies, but in the end, the pardon came down to the failure of delivery to deliver a fair trial. That matters. Now, can we be sure Smollett was going to get that? It didn't look like it. We may see the investigation live on the FBI is handling the mail and fraud accusation. Even if we don't for Smollett, this case may never close. It's not shocking that he forfeited his bond and a push to remind people of his good character commenced. For months, Smollett has been wearing his own brand of a scarlet letter his name unfairly scarred in ways typically reserved for rapists and murderers, he can't shake that off. Even if his story is true, it's too late. His empire is as broken as our system. The lie, whether he told one or not, I believe he did lie. I believe everything. I believe that he is guilty of something. That is my opinion. But whether he told one or not will be one he wears for the rest of his life. The questions will linger. A public shame to bear will well beyond the 45 days Zukowski served and the year given to Yovino. The actor might get other roles, but Smollett's typecast as the boy who cried wolf or who cried truth, it will remain. This is your boy, DJ Tan. Just my opinion. Peace.